record. So I know last week, one of the things that we did not do, I don't believe, I was on a little bit late, but we didn't share I'd like for us to kind of share. Did we share our stories last week? Were you on? Karen, were you on last week?
Didn't. I was on and no, we didn't.
Okay. So a lot of this 12-week year book that we're reading and kind of like this group that we're doing has a lot to do with like your goal, where you're going, and your why and all that. And so that's super important, but because without that, these groups, as we're reading this, which totally plays into this whole thing of what we're reading, is that you can set goals for yourself, but unless you have an emotional attachment to that goal, like life's gonna happen and you're not gonna meet your goal, right? And a lot of y'all have been in this long enough to know that things come up. You know, life happens, it's crazy. I mean, just the sheer fact that you've been a coach this long, that definitely, shows that. So I'm going to go ahead and if y'all mute your lines if you're not talking, and then if you want to talk, then you can talk. That way you don't have the outside noise. But I'd like for each of you to kind of, as you've read this book, and some of you haven't read it yet, and that's totally fine. But as you've kind of thought about it, what is your why for doing this and why for setting the goal? Because unless you have an emotional attachment to that goal, you're not going to reach it. And I think one of the most powerful parts of this book is that it says that you cannot ask someone to keep you accountable. And I think for a long time we thought, well, we need accountability groups. Like we need someone, a push group. We need this. Well, when in reality, there's no one that can keep you accountable to your goals except for yourself. And that's just the reality of it. And so people are like, well, like I've had a lot of people recently come to me and say, well, my coach was really doing a lot and then they fell off. And so then I fell off and I'm like, well, your coach isn't responsible for your goals, right? You're responsible yourself for your goals. And so I thought that was really interesting because they were like, well, my coach just kind of decided to kind of, so then I kind of made me do it. And I do agree, like sometimes the leader of the pack is the leader of the team, but at what point do you take ownership for your actions? And so my response to those coaches is they're like, well, my coach kind of fell off, so I kind of fell off. I was like, well, great. This is your opportunity to step up. This is your opportunity to lead because, and what a great opportunity for you, to be accountable for your own actions. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but I'd love for y'all to share your why and kind of a little bit deeper. Deeper why, not like I just want to help people, but what is the driving force? It has to be something emotional that's attached to you to make you do it, to make you go through the times that are hard, that are uncomfortable. It has to be something a little bit deeper in order for you to achieve your goals. So I would love for y'all to share a little bit more about your why of coaching. Do y'all want to start? Who wants to start? Karen, start. Go. You can do it.
Okay. All right. My why started out with the whole, I just want to help people. And that was 3 years ago. It took me a little bit of time and I'm still trying to figure out, and it's definitely, it morphs every so often into different things where you start out with one why and then it turns into something else. I mean, the rock bottom for me is, besides the fact that I do legitimately want to help people. It's kind of like having that product that did something amazing for you, and you absolutely want to share that.
Right.
But then for me, I have a college, a senior this year that's going to college. Okay, so my emotional attachment is that I've always been the stay-at-home mom that didn't bring in very much income, and that's not where I thought I would be when I was 20-something getting married. That wasn't me. That I wanted to be more than that. So when I came upon the Beachbody opportunity, that was what I wanted. I was like, okay, I love this. This fits me, and I can do this. Have I had a hard time going? Yes. Life takes over, and I don't always reach, my goals. Perfect example is I didn't get to chapter 14 yet because life happened. So, but I'm on it, doing what I can. But everything, I don't know. Life happens, but my why is still there. I mean, I have a senior this year. We have to afford, Texas A&M. So that has to happen somehow. So I either have to go to work full time, or I will make Beachbody my thing, because I'm there. I'm right there teetering on the edge of being very successful. So it's time to tilt it my way. So, okay, passing it off.
Awesome. Great. So, really think about that emotional, and when you think about your why, it should be like, so for you, Karen, it's like, okay, it's either this or you have to go get a job. Like, how sucky would that be if you had to get a job? So that's your deep why that is going to drive you to make it happen. You obviously have to have a why of helping people, because it's not about the money, because it can never be about that. But that's what drives you, the deep, this is my only option. My coaches that are I have no other option, this is what's happening, they're the ones that make it happen, right? Because they're this is my plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right?
Right.
And so that having that deep thing and thinking of what would your life be without that? Well, it would suck. You would have to get a job. You wouldn't be able to do this. And so that hopefully will be the part that will allow you to be uncomfortable, allow you to do business. So thank you for being vulnerable. I really appreciate it. All right, who's next? Christina?
Okay, sorry about that. I don't have video for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so if you're looking for my why, it's rooted in the fact that I came from corporate America. I worked for 12 years as a branch manager for a major bank, and I was really, really good at it. It came as a shock to me when that job was gone. So now I'm at home with my kids. I had never done that before. My boys are 13 and 16. My daughter's 21, and I now have a 5-month-old grandbaby. So I'm getting to feel and experience what it's like to be what I call a real mom. I get to go to the soccer games. I get to go to practice. If somebody forgot something at school, I don't have to shift everything around at work in order to step out the door so the world doesn't come crashing down behind me. So I want to keep that. That's where Beachbody comes in for me. I had been following Lauren Duke, who I met at the soccer fields because our boys played together here in Lancaster. So she's in Florida now. It's been a while. But I'm looking to keep that feeling. I'm looking to keep that excitement. I remember the first time I saw her and she was wearing her Beachbody gear. So I asked her, what do you do for Beachbody? And she looked at me and said, I'm a coach. And my first thought was, what on earth? How are you a coach and you're sitting right here watching these kids practice? Because I didn't know what it was. So I was that stalker. I watched everything she did on Facebook. I got to learn about it just little by little. And I'm here now. I'm all in now, because what she's been able to do as far as finding that community, finding a sense of belonging, and then to even make it better, finding success within it, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for that same level of success I experienced in corporate America, but on my terms, not on somebody else's. So short and simple would be to continue being a real mom. That's why I'm doing this.
Awesome. Awesome. So as you're thinking about that, Trina, what would that look like if Beachbody didn't happen and you had to go back to corporate America? You know, so that's kind of your fight. That's your fight. That's your deep emotional connection. Does that make sense? Like, that's the thing that's like, what if you weren't able to experience that, right? So you're going to have to do some uncomfortable things and do some things out of your comfort zone in order to maintain that. You know? Right. So that's great. Okay, so who wants to share? Who's next wants to share? Okay, Carol wants to share.
Okay. Yeah. Mine's a couple different things. Kind of the driving backstory for me, well, there's a lot of things, is the backstory of my husband passing away. So I have one biological daughter, and I've got 3 stepkids, but I'm it for her. I'm that connection for her. I'm her support. And I was for a long time before that, because he was at home pretty well functional before he passed. And I did the corporate America thing, and that was great, and I was successful. He passed, and so that really drove the stake deeper in my heart. I've got my one baby who's 17 now, like Will, and I got to take care of her. So that's one driving force. And then, like Trina said, I've done corporate America for 24 years. I am so sick of it. When I lost my job this summer, when they downsized and reorganized because of their failures to make the organization more resilient, it's hard to lose what you've done. You've done all that work, and yes, I know in my mind I've got a great resume. I know in my mind I did good. I know my resume looks nice and plump. But I was standing in the lobby one of my last few days there, and I thought, I just can't do this. And then my brain filled in and said, again, I can't sit in an office again. So yeah, I'm doing some work on the side to, backfill and pay for things now, but I can't go back to that anymore. I am tired of being in the office, and I want to have not only take ownership for what I do, but take it with me. And unless I fail myself, I don't lose it. So I can work on Beachbody coaching and go for that. And I want to pay for quality for my daughter's education. So that's a kicker. I want to take care of, my husband's older than me. I remarried, and Stephanie's you've met Randy, right? Steph, yeah. So he's older than me, and I know he's launching out of working. And so I just want to have a better schedule. I want to be the mom like Trina, where my daughter's 16, and I'm finally, at the time, I'm finally able to be more of a mommy than I have for a long time. So that's really good. So my driving forces are that. And I do want to, I look around at people and I see how obese they are, and it's sad. And I can't change anybody, but I can do that one person at a time, hopefully. That's sad. And I see myself, and I got some trimming up to do. And I want to be able to have that good mobility and a longevity in life, better life, so I can live longer. And one other quick thing I look at my grandmothers too. At 67, my grandma got her life-saving certificate, because at the beach there was an open beach and no lifeguard back in the day, and she wanted to be that lifeguard. I'm like, 67, my grandmother went and got her life-saving certificate. And then my other grandmother, was a nurse, and she did part-time nursing from 65 until about 80. And it's ridiculous. Some really good health, and I don't want to screw up the health God gave me. I want to have good longevity like them, and I don't want to be crippled because I ate too much or whatever. So that's mine.
Those are great. And again, just like remembering that feeling. Here's the deal. Remembering that feeling of what it felt like to be in that lobby and going, I don't want to do this. That's the feeling that you have to pull from on the days that you have the I don't wannas. Okay. And those I don't wannas are coming. Let me tell you, last night, I had the I don't want to, but I pushed through. There are so many times that I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I wouldn't have to, truthfully. No one would know if I didn't do something, or if I canceled a call or whatever. no one would, but it's the drive that I have inside of me to help my team. And I want to have people that why that allows me to be uncomfortable. Okay. So that's good. So I know we'll kind of keep going. Who's next? Allie, you want to go?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My why is that I don't want to go back to work. The plan was always that when our youngest starts kindergarten, I was going to find some sort of job. And I just don't want to. And the thing is that I found Beachbody, like I have littles in the house. I started it when my girls were 2, just as a customer, because I was like dressing my kids up to leave the house like a Gap ad. And then I was like this like lump, like rolling behind them. And I just wanted to feel like me again. And I found this thing that worked, and I couldn't believe that it worked. I'm still kind of shocked that it worked. And I was telling everybody about it. I mean, this is dumb. I should just coach. Like, I should just do this. And so I feel like a part of my passion is like for the moms with young kids crowd, because like it's only 30 minutes a day. You really can do it. I'm in the best shape of my life. I look better than I did when I got married. And it's totally doable. And in my challenge groups, I have these moms that have tiny babies at home. They're like, I cannot believe that I have control of my own body again. And it's amazing. But the bigger, I don't want to work. And I said, like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. And I think there's like a pride thing there that like, fitting's not an option. Like, I've already said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have a couple years till all my kids are in kindergarten, but I don't want to go back to work. And I found that in coaching, I can use my teaching skills and my counseling skills that I went to school for to pump up my challengers. Like, I'm using that same skill set. And so I'm using something that I already know and I'm already comfortable with. And I love it. So I want to be a Beachbody coach, and I do not want to get a job. I don't want to have a boss.
Awesome. And that is such a driver, like we're talking about. It's just a driver. It's the thing that on those days that life's hard and the kids are crying and they're got sick, it's the, staying up a little extra late or waking up a little bit extra early to do the things that you need to do. And that's what's going to drive you. That's awesome. Okay. Who's next? Crystal.
So I am still trying to figure out my big why. I've been a coach as far as like actually, past the discount phase for like the last year. And I started out like really strong, and then like all, like you said, the don't want us came in, and life and all of that happened. So I had like the whys, obviously, like everybody said, to help people. And, there's some freedom too, as far as working for yourself on your own schedule. I do have a son, and I did, like most other people, the whole corporate thing, which was just absolutely draining. So, I also work on, from home with my other job, and that just like, I feel no passion there. Like, they're super nice to me, and it's flexible and all of that is great, but there's like nothing that really gets me there. So I'm definitely attracted to all of this with the lifestyle and the community and the focus on fitness and health and nutrition, because that's something that's been important to me for such a long time. But I'm still, like I said, struggling to find like that main strong why that will get me through like the downs that I've had over this last year. So I think I'm getting there, and there's lots of little things, but as far as like the big driving force, I'm still trying to figure that out. And to be honest, it's very, very good to hear everybody else's story. Like, you know, because there's little bits of that, you know, myself that I see in other people, and I'm like, yes. So this is definitely helpful. But I feel like I thought that I had something, you know, and then it kind of, and I feel like there's more there for me to explore. So that's kind of where I am.
And I think that's super important. I think it, like we talked about, I think Karen said about it morphing, or I think, is that what you said, kind of morphing? And it does. Like, I mean, I definitely feel like when I first started, it was like, it was so much fun that I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Why wouldn't everyone do this? And it was something apart from taking care of my kids and wiping snotty noses, right? So I was like, this is genius. I can make some money. I can go get my nails done. I can get my hair done. And I don't feel guilty about it. You know, it's awesome. Then I started to see the potential in like what my coach was doing and what other people in the company were doing. And my coach able to quit his job. And I was like, oh my gosh, if he can do that, I can do that. Right. And so it got to be a driving force of like, I can change my family by being consistent in this business. Like, I can change the course of my family. And let me tell you, like, our family is totally on a different path than it would have been. You know, we would have been living paycheck to paycheck. My kids would not be in a Christian school right now. My husband would not be working for a nonprofit. Like, there are so many things that my life would not be like right now. And that's not even like the financial side, you know? So it morphs, it changes, because you start to catch a vision and you can see like what your life could be like. And that's what makes a big difference, Crystal. As you start to visualize, dream, and think about it, then that becomes a reality. I think it's really cool. So it's okay to be morphing. Okay, so it doesn't say who 919 is, but 919, do you want to share?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, this is Luciano. My why is freedom, and freedom is a lot of, number one, I have been kind of in business for myself for the past 3 years. I do freelance public relations and marketing, all within the equine industry. But over the past 6 to 8 months, like, I've developed just a serious, like, visceral reaction to not my clients per se, but just having to answer to other people. And I know that sounds really stupid, because I know that's what literally 99% of America has to do, but I just know that I can do something else if I put my mind to it. And coach for about a month and a half. But I have loved it. I love helping people. I love the workouts. I love every aspect of Beachbody. And like somebody was saying just a moment ago, like, you know, I can't believe that, like, this is what I get to do every day. Like, this is so much fun. So my why is just freedom. I want financial freedom. I want freedom of my time. I don't want to say, like, I want to work one-on-one with people, and I want to help people achieve their goals. And I've already just found so much fulfillment in that just by groups. I started an accountability group the day I became a coach, and we have 56 women. And it's awesome, because everybody about their workout. And it's great to be like part of a tribe that supports one another and like builds each other up. And then I just started my very first challenge group today with the Fix, and it's already, you know, just been fun. So my why is freedom and so that's cut and dry, but that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I love the passion in your voice, because the passion in your voice is what will carry you and be so attractive to other people, is that passion. So
Thank you.
All of you guys sharing your vulnerabilities and sharing your whys, and even if, you know, you don't really know what that why is, you know, spend some time this week thinking about what that's going to look like. And the reason that I do have y'all share this is because, like, Crystal, do you say Crystal Lee or do you say Crystal?
Crystal, but how does my name appear on there?
It says Crystal Lee, so I didn't want to call you the wrong name.
That's actually my maiden name, and it's pronounced Lay. So it's just
Crystal. So you're just Crystal.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. So Crystal, you know, I think it's so cool how, you know, we're talking about, you know, the vision and what we want to have and how, you know, spend some time thinking about that. And in the 12-week year in the book, it talks a lot about that. And it says the compelling vision of the future will the compelling vision of the future. You have to have a compelling vision of the future that will, you will want more than you desire short-term comfort. So short-term comfort is, you know, watching your favorite TV shows, going out, maybe extra lunches with friends, maybe less sleep for a short term. And since we're doing this like as a 12-week year, the cool thing is like you do it for 12 weeks and you kind of have a break and then you ramp up and then you set your next 12-week goal, right? So, but like we were talking about, like the reason for sharing your why is you have to be emotionally connected. And when you hear other people's whys and you hear what they're trying to do, you're like, okay, you realize you're not alone, right? And so on those days that you have the I don't want us, you're like, oh my gosh, but I remember Carol sharing her story and she's going through the same struggles that I am and she's pushing through. Right? So that's going to make a huge difference in this is your little tribe. These are the people that are going through the same things that you are. And that's why it's so important to share your why. It's so important to share your struggles, your triumphs in this group, because that's what's going to help you push through. And in the groups that I've had before, the people that have been most engaged, sharing what's working, sharing what's not working, asking questions, those are the people that do really well in these groups. So the other thing, some other things that I took out is just, you know, again, being, you know, emotionally connected so that you are okay with, you will go through the pain of change, because change is painful. And you just have to have a compelling personal vision that creates passion, like just like we were saying, you know, in her voice is passion, you know, that passion that will kind of carry you through. So I'm gonna kind of, I don't want to keep us very long, but I think, you know, as we're talking about, we're gonna have measurements of that. The thing I love about the 12-week year is that they talk about setting goals, and I posted in the file section, there's like kind of a form that you can fill out as a Google document, and you basically, she got it. So you kind of fill out you know, those, and you kind of see what your goals are. So he gives the example of like losing weight. So if I'm going to lose weight, I decided I'm going to exercise 3 times a week. I'm going to, you know, eat less. I don't know. He uses like kind of an example of how he's going to lose weight. He breaks that down. And then every week he measures what he did that week. Here's my thing why I love this. I love it because one, this book says you're accountable for your own actions, period. Done. You know, no more blaming, giving excuses, whatever. And the second thing I love about this is he gives us freedom to not be perfect, but to strive towards our goals. So like maybe some weeks you'll be at 85% of your goal. You know, you set these measurable goals. Maybe some weeks you're 85% and you go, okay, next week I need to be 95%. Or maybe you have a sucky week and be 55%. Next week you need to be 100%, you know? But I think for me, I'm such a perfectionist that I'm like all or nothing. And maybe some of you are like that. If you have a sucky week and you are 55%, then you feel like a failure. And then you're like, fine, I'm just not going to do it. Right? The next week. And then that week turns into this next week. And then, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm assuming some of you know what I'm talking about. And so, so this kind of format goes, okay, you're looking at yourself, you're grading yourself, you have measurements of what you need to be. And truthfully, like the whole coaching thing, that's how I've done this business. I mean, I've set goals every week of what I need to do. I've broken it down into like simple things like I need to reach out to this many people. I need to meet this many people. I need to follow up with this many people. And so I've done that. I just didn't know I was doing that, right? And when I was held accountable in a group like this where I had to do my numbers and I had to stick with it, because it was kind of embarrassing if I didn't, and we measured it. That's when I started developing that habit. So you have to have a strong desire to get there. You have to have certain actions that are the actions that are going to get you to where you want to go, your keystone actions. You have to count the costs, right? One of the things that I love doing is counting the costs, especially with your family. Maybe we talked a little bit about this last week, is, talking to your family like, hey, mommy has this goal, and in 12 weeks, mommy wants to be diamond. And so that means that mommy may have to be on the phone, or mommy may have to, be on a call here or there. And so in order to celebrate mommy getting it after 12 weeks, because you're making a sacrifice, we're going to celebrate that. Okay? Because you already know there's going to be some costs involved in shooting for a goal. And then the last is acting on commitments, not feelings. And we talked about that earlier, is like, on the I don't want is acting on the commitments that you made and not that. And so, and when we decide to make a change in our life, it's an emotional roller coaster, right? You have those days where those people are answering your messages and you're rolling in those conversations and it's awesome. And you have the next day that they don't answer your messages and you feel like a failure and you feel like a loser. And then you're like, why didn't they answer me? I mean, I had that yesterday. I made all these contacts and crickets. And I knew they saw they saw what I said, posted, whatever, and they didn't answer, and so it's an emotional roller coaster. So it's really important to have that commitment and stay even through the ups and downs. And so if your customers are having a great experience, write it out, put it somewhere. So on those days that you're having the I don't want, you can look and say, no, look, I helped her. So some of the pitfalls of people not making their goals is, they don't take the power of the vision seriously. So they don't really sit down and think about that vision of what this is going to get them, in life. And the second one, it's not meaningful enough, meaningful enough to get, it's not meaningful enough to make you uncomfortable, right? And then the next is your vision's too small. And I'm wondering if some of us have too small of visions, or maybe started out as too small of visions, and that's why maybe we stumbled, at first at coaching, because our vision wasn't that big. I mean, my vision at the beginning was to go to the parties at Beachbody. Well, that can only get you so far, right? I mean, I didn't want to miss out on a party because I like parties, but that's not going to really help my business grow. Right? So then I had to shift to okay, it's not about the parties. It's not about the recognition. It's about the growth of my team and my growth. And then another pitfall is that you don't connect with connect your vision with your daily actions. So they always talk about people that dream, they're like, oh, I have a dream, but they don't put that dream into action. So you have to have those measurable goals into action. So you definitely need to share that, share your vision with others. And that's what this group is for. You need to stay in touch with your vision, and then you need to live with intention. This is what I'm doing. And that's going to make a huge difference. I wanted to say one more thing. Okay. And so when you're setting those goals, what it's going to look like I always think weekly goals, so for y'all, you'll need to set weekly goals of how many people you're going to find, through social media, how many people you're going to connect with and form, how many people you're going to invite, and then how many of your challengers you're going to invite to how many people you're going to show to the business opportunity. I mean, that's basically you'll have to come up with your own steps, but you definitely want to state them positively. You're going to ensure that they're a realistic stretch. You're going to assign accountability, and you're going to be time bound in those. Okay. So there's some examples in that book of kind of what he did, and then we could kind of break it down into what it looks like for us. You also need to think ahead of time on what of those goals, those actions every week you're going to struggle with. This is so, to me, that's so genius. I'm it's already I think sometimes we're oh my gosh, how did I struggle with that? But acknowledging that that's going to be a struggle, I think is huge. And then what are you going to do to overcome those struggles? So I know that, you know, I'm going to struggle with, you know, when I do my, you know, my finds and shares and blah, 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 my struggle I know I'm going to get is I'm going to get sucked into the Facebook world. So what am I going to do to help myself with that? Well, maybe I take Facebook off my phone. Maybe I only look at Messenger and the group app. Maybe I, you know, I do Teamsy so that I don't have to scroll through, you know, normally I would scroll through the Facebook feed and then, you know, talk, you know, answer, you know, talk, but my Facebook feed is so cluttered right now, and it's cluttered with negativity, it's cluttered with coaches, it's cluttered with all this stuff that I can't even get to who I need to, who are my prospects. So maybe that looks like, you know, changing up some things for me personally. And so, some of the pitfalls that you might find are your 12-week plan doesn't align with your vision. You aren't staying focused. You aren't making those tough choices, you know, of like, yeah, I remember like choosing to not go to lunch with friends when I wanted to, you know, because I needed to work. I did that this week. I wanted to go to market with it. I didn't because I was like, I need to stay home and work. Trying to do too much, and that makes you feel overwhelmed. So that is a pitfall. You know, like if you have like your goals, if there are too many goals or whatever, that'll make you feel overwhelmed. So keep it simple. And make it meaningful. So those are just some like little tips that I have. Our time is over. So y'all go ahead. I'm going to post this, and then y'all post any questions you have, any reflection from this. I wanted us to have more time, but I ran a little late. But I hope that helps you guys. And I'm really excited about this group because I feel like it's really going to help us focus on our goals and then put those into action. So I don't want this to be like another group to be in or another call to be on or whatever. I want this to actually produce your results. So thank you guys.